Welcome to the DrinkUp Podcast, daily industry brief, where we break down what's happening in the beverage business and what it actually means for brands, distributors, and operators. Today's tension: the money is still flowing through Bev-alc, but the middle tier and smaller producers are getting squeezed from both ends. Consolidation on one side, demand and funding pressure on the other. First, Stoli Group USA and Kentucky Owl are converting their U.S. entities from Chapter 11 to Chapter 7, handing control to a trustee and moving into liquidation. Meanwhile, Kentucky's Luca Mariano Distillery is heading to a court-supervised sale to cover roughly $34.5 million in debt. For you, that means short-term inventory is fine, but treat these brands as melting ice cubes and protect shelf and menu space with more stable whiskey partners who can fund programs and stay in stock. Next, Reyes Beverage Group is set to acquire RNDC's wine and spirits operations in Florida, Hawaii, Illinois, Maryland, South Carolina, Virginia, and D.C., cementing Reyes as a true total beverage heavyweight while RNDC's national story shrinks. This week, that means suppliers in those states should be scenario planning for new service standards, pricing conversations, and focus priorities. And independents should lock in relationships now before the post-deal org charts harden. On the beer side, Circana's December data shows only 10 of the top 25 vendors growing dollars, with Non-alc Athletic, Constellation, Geloso, Fusion, Canarchy, and influencer-driven Happy Dad taking share, even as big names like Molson Coors and Heineken leak volume. If you're chasing growth, lean into high-velocity Mexican imports, better for you and convenience-driven RTDs, and be ruthless about cutting dead weight that's dragging your cold box and back bar. Wine is still grinding through a demand correction. SVB pegs 2025 U.S. wine volume around 329 million cases and value at about $74.3 billion, both down again, and we're seeing real-world fallout with Mission Bell Winery laying off 200-plus workers in California and subject to change in the Bay Area, shutting down under debt and excess inventory. Operators should treat this as a buyer's market. Use private label and over-inventoried premium wine to improve margins, while suppliers focus on fewer, sharper brands and direct consumer engagement instead of waiting for a rebound. Even the non-alc side isn't immune. Wilderton, which built the first dedicated non-alcoholic distillery in the U.S., is shutting down after funding dried up, despite strong category buzz. Takeaway: trend heat without capital discipline and distribution muscle doesn't pay the bills, so pick non-alc partners with proven velocity, not just good PR. Finally, November food PPI was up just about 1.3% year over year, with wholesale margins still rising and retail margins easing, which usually signals more vendor-funded promotions coming through. For this week's planning, assume more deal pressure in chain retail. If you're a brand, budget for deeper or smarter promotions, and if you're a retailer, push harder for supplier dollars rather than cutting everyday price on your own. The take: the winners in 2026 won't be the loudest brands. They'll be the ones that can survive tighter credit, work inside a consolidated route to market, and still show up with product, price, and programming every week.